Hey guys and gals, welcome back. Let's get back to getting this MERCURY 1.1 together. So we're going to install the tool head and run the belts. So this tool head, again, I'm using the Sherpa. It's an EVA 2.4, and the Sherpa top here has a modded in it by Turtle Crawler. Actually, he supplied me with his file to put this channel in here to hold the switch, and I modded the tool head. I'll add it to the community mods. But basically, the micro switch sets in there. There's two little nubs that engage the screw holes in the micro switch. That's what holds it in place, and then it essentially just clamps down right on top of the MGN block on the x-axis, and just like that, clamps down on there. M3x12s. We are having some gnarly thunderstorms and tornado type weather here tonight, so if you hear booming, that's just the thunder outside. Snug those up good and tight. Don't over tighten them and split the ABS. There we go. Tool head's on. And let's go ahead and get the stop put on there. Just be a whole lot easier to do before the belts are in the way. We'll get the Endstop in there. Let's give this a turn here. I don't know why I can't get that to drop in there. This may be one of these that just doesn't fit the rail. Every now and then you come across that. There it went. I just slide that right to the end of the rail for now. We'll fine tune it later. Snug it a little bit, call it good. All right. Now I want to get a couple of belt clamps out here and the Gates belt that comes with the Fabrico kit. And you can do this however you want. I just basically toss the belt down on the floor and give it a full send. And let me turn the printer here a little bit so you can kind of see. I usually leave about 10 millimeters of belt sticking out. I'm sure there's better ways to do this, but this is just the way I do it. I just make sure I have the belt so it's not twisted. On the docks, there's the belt path. It's a little intimidating, but there's really only one way it'll go, so it's not something to get too overly worried about. So there we go. There's our lower belt, and the lower belt actually tensions on the left side of the machine. So the left front tower, the left stepper, that is your lower belt. And do the same thing here. Throw a belt clamp on it. I always just cut the belt off so it's about flush with the other side. Make sure this tower is slid all the way back so that you have plenty of room for adjusting tension. And then we'll do exactly the same thing again. I'll back the clamp off here. Get that belt slipped in there. Make sure there's a little extra tail sticking through there. Can always be cleaned up later. And this one is the top belt. So it actually goes, this is the one that is run by the right side stepper motor and is tensioned off the right side tower. So the belt comes around this pulley here, goes inside the stepper mount. So we'll feed it in here, go around the stepper. Feed it back out so it comes out. It's got to come around the inside of this pulley. Get a hold of it like that, push it back in there, loop it up over that pulley, work it into the bearings, and there we go. It comes all the way up around the tensioning tower, goes back to the X joint, goes behind the toothed idler, and then heads over to the tool head. He's kind of lined up here. Make sure there's no twist in any of the belts. And then same thing. Bring it over to the clamp. Clip this and leave the tail plenty long. That's it. The belt path is done. And there should be more than enough play on each one of these that we can get the appropriate amount of tension on them. I'm going to go ahead and tighten these clamps down one more time just to make sure they're good. They are. I'm going to get the screws for in here, and I believe these were intended for 20 millimeter screws. I don't remember. I'd have to go read the manual, but yeah, 20 millimeters work just fine. Or was that a 16? Hell, I don't know. Looks like it was a 16. There we go. Belt path is complete, and they sound like they're tensioned about the same. They are tensioned a little tight. I can hear that. And that's where these tools here come into play. Is the frequency to tension these at is at 150 millimeters. These tools right here, which are in the community mods, set around the tower like that, run up against the MGN9 block, you run it up tight against there, and that gives you the correct distance here. And you actually use a tuner app on your phone to check the frequency of the belts. Or I have this belt tension meter, but this isn't, as far as where to tension it at on there is not a known. What I need to do is tension this correctly with the meter and then put this on there and mark where it's at. But basically the way this works is you slide that back, hook the belt on it, and you can't see it on the camera, but as you tighten it, it pushes that back, and there's a scale on here that shows you how tight it is. But again, don't know the value for that, so until that's figured out, I would suggest not using it. That's it for the Mercury One part of it. The rest is assembling the tool head and doing all the wiring. I guess we could put the Y limit switch on now. That's a printed part. It's right here. And then you take a micro switch, solder your wires onto it, and then it's got 2 pins under it, slips over, and that mounts right here. And you'll see as the carriage comes back, you adjust it up so that the carriage pushes the lever down on the switch, and that activates the Y-axis end stop. And that'll be M5 by, not sure, maybe 10 millimeter. Holds that on. We'll look right quick. And 2 M5 spring ball nuts. And I just snug those up, slide this back, kind of get the height so it definitely triggers it, but no added friction. And then just snug these up. They don't have to be overly tight. And that's it. Now the tool head. So these are M3 by 35s. Now our tri-horn. And I use the heat set mod. It's got the heat sets in it. There's 2 versions. You have heat set version and you have the version that uses M3 nuts. They have the pockets for the nuts. I prefer the heat sets. You can do it either way. There is no advantage, disadvantage to one or the other. I do know one of the designers on the EVA made the comment that he chose to design it with the nuts because in the country that he's in, heat sets are a little harder to get. So a very valid reason. Okay, our tri-horn duct is in place. Here's my Dragonfly Hotend. We got to put the lower bracket on there first. And without fail, the power just went off here. So we will resume the video when I have electricity again, because now you're seeing me in the dark. Hey guys, Scott here in, I guess you would call this post-processing. Anyway, as you see, the power went out near the end of this video, and unfortunately I ran out of time to get the video finished up before everything had to be packed up and head off to Murph's. So that's going to end it for this series on building the Mercury 1.1. I will add another video showing the final assembly of the tool head, and I will tear the printer back down and start back over with a new board when it arrives, and I will do an electronics wiring, what I did on the wiring and stuff like that. Anyway, hope you enjoy these. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, hit me up on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this content, and there will be more coming out. Again, thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.